Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm coming back to you this lovely Monday to bring you the hottest comics releasing November 3rd, 2021. But first, please be sure to subscribe, like the video, and comment down below what you're most excited for this week. I know I have a couple of great picks. Unfortunately, with a lot of comic books getting pushed back because of the paper shortage. You know, we were supposed to have a bigger, heavier week, but that does not let me down because I still have quite a few top picks and series shoutouts for this week. So, let's dive right in, and we're starting off with Dark Knights of Steel #1. It's a new DC comic written by Tom Taylor and drawn by Yasmin Putri, and it's an entire medieval world will be forever changed when a spaceship crash lands from a doomed planet. Monarchs will die, kingdoms will rise, and what seemed the end of the world for many was only the beginning. An epic high fantasy story set in a DC universe where nothing is what it seems. And this one really piqued my interest because it was solicited as DC Comics meets Game of Thrones, and that just sounds uber cool to me. I love a fantasy element base, so having my favorite DC characters being merged in with that sounds really interesting. I wonder if they will die off like people in Game of Thrones, but we'll have to read and see how that goes. Also, we have Guillme March's Laura, and Guillme March just recently made a comic this past year called Carmen, and that book really piqued my interest. I really enjoyed it. I read it. I thought it was phenomenally executed, so I am really hyped for Guillme March's Laura. He is writing and drawing it just like he did Carmen, and you know, he's now known for doing like Batman and Joker and things like that, but to me his independent European work is really interesting and different, unlike a lot of other comics that are releasing right now. So, suffering from the ever-painful experience of unrequited love, 20-year-old Laura takes a look at her life. Is the fact that the boy she has feelings for is in love with someone else, meaning there is something wrong with her? Or is that just how young love goes? And what will happen when she tries to get past the hurt and move on with her life? Laura is an exploration into the mind of a young woman who is experiencing something most people have, but in an honest and beautiful way that only Guillme March can bring us. So, I'm really interested in this. I really like some really deep independent works, and this one's done by Ablaze, which surprisingly has had some really big hitters, and I've been enjoying them quite recently, so I am really excited to see what this one has for store for us. We also have Human Target #1. It is a maxi series, a 12-part maxi series written by Tom King and drawn by Greg Smallwood. It's a new DC comic that I am really interested in. Greg Smallwood hasn't really done interior work in a really long time, and he's done some of my favorite work, which was Jeff Lemire's Moon Knight. So I am super stoked to see what he brings to the table with Tom King. Christopher Chance has made a living out of being a human target, a man hired to disguise himself as his client to invite would-be assassins to attempt his murder. He's had a remarkable career until his latest case protecting Lex Luthor when things go sideways. An assassination attempt Chance didn't see coming leaves him vulnerable and left trying to solve his own murder. As he has 12 days to discover just who in the DCU hated Luthor enough to want him dead, Human Target is a hard-boiled, gritty story in the vein of a classic detective noir told by best-selling and critically acclaimed creators Tom King and Greg Smallwood. So I love a really good whodunit story, and to me, Tom King is like one of the best at doing that. I mean, he just did one with Strange Adventures, and I thought it was really good. Wasn't my favorite, so I'm hoping that this one definitely elevates to more of like Tom King's like standard in my eyes. So I am super looking forward to this one. We also have Newburn, #1, is a new Chip Zdarsky book done by Image Comics, drawn by Jacob Phillips. Jacob Phillips does another Image comic called That Texas Blood, and he is the brother of Sean Phillips, who works with Ed Brubaker and things like that. Jacob Phillips actually did the coloring for most of Sean Phillips' work, so I really love That Texas Blood, and I'm really excited to see what he brings to the table, especially with a Chip Zdarsky story. I think that is going to be very interesting and very exciting. Easton Newburn is a private detective without loyalties, investigating conflicts between rival crime factions while collecting enemies along the way. In this debut issue, a man is murdered after stealing from his own mafia family, but they aren't the ones who murdered the hit. This new ongoing series from Chip Zdarsky features a riveting backstory, Brooklyn Zychroni, featuring stars Nadia Shamas and Ziad Youssef Aiboy. Sorry, I totally mispronounced that. I'm really bad at names. But I cannot wait for this book. I think it's going to be really, really good, really under-ordered, and I think this is going to be a sly sneak-in, just like Stillwater was. Stillwater, not many people were on the radar, and then like, boom, everybody wanted a #1. And I was like, I don't have any more, sorry. So I'm hoping this one definitely picks up the pace, and a lot of people are interested in this. We also have Primordial #2. This one was originally supposed to come out last week, but it got postponed to this week. Jeff Lemire, Andrea Sorrentino. I'm very, very, very excited to read this. I thought #1 was fantastic. It was so interesting, so different, so unique. Love the art, love the paneling. I think it's just fantastic. And I think this one just may top it. I mean, as like a mission strays far from the launch plan, the origins of her involvement are illuminated. Back on Earth, Dr. Pembroke attempts to uncover the truth in West Berlin. So, not much in the synopsis there, but I can't wait for this. I'm sure it's just going to lead into a very climactic middle issue, and we will see what happens from there. Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino yesterday also announced their brand new book, The Boneyard Orchids, and they're going back to the horror style, which I absolutely love, and I'm very, very excited and looking forward to it. I cannot wait, and I can't wait for this week either. Now time for some series shoutouts. These are books not necessarily going to be the top bought books of the week, but I definitely think that if they interest you, you might want to check them out at your local comic book store on Wednesday. Starting off with Heathens #1. It's a brand new Aftershock book written by Cullen Bunn and drawn by Sami Givella. When evil men and women escape from the depths of the eternal abyss, the pirate queen Lady Shin is sent to retrieve them. But when one of history's most notorious killers break free, even she needs help. Enter the Heathens. Shin, Lucky Lusano, Bumpy Johnson, Sophia the Golden Hand, and Billy the Kid. From hell, they came to mete out a justice as dark as their own tormented souls. So, I think it's really cool that they're bringing, like, this dark, like, from hell type band of misfits, mixed in with, like, the Pirate Queen, you know. It just seems really interesting, dark, unique, and I'm all for that. Plus, Cullen Bunn writes some amazing Aftershock books. They're probably some of my favorites, so. We also have Rush #1. It is a new Vault book written by C. Superior and drawn by Nathan Gooden. To me, C. Superior is a really underrated writer. I think he is fantastic. I think he has so many great ideas, especially his independent work. So I'm really looking forward to this. I think Vault is very underrated as well. My big thing with Vault, though, is I wish they would get better artists, because to me, sometimes the art does fall a little flat. However, if the story is very, very compelling, I can get past that art. So, I'm very looking forward to this one, because I can't wait to see what C. Superior has in store. This hungry earth reddens under snow-clad hills. 1899 Yukon Territory, a frozen frontier bloodied and bruised by the last great gold rush. But in the lawless waste to the north, something whispers in the hindbrains of men, drawing them to a blighted valley where giant spider tracks mark the snow and impossible guns roar in the night. To Brookhoof, where gold and blood are mined alike, now stumbling towards this haunted forest comes a woman gripped not by greed, but the snarling rage of a mother in search of her child. So, very interesting. I like how they're like merging in the gold rush mines and things like that, because I think like those mines are super creepy. Have you ever seen My Bloody Valentine? Mines can be very creepy, scary, and I just can't wait. We also have Sheena Queen Jungle #1. It's written by Stephen Mooney, drawn by Morales, and it has some incredible covers. One of my favorites is the Rose Besh. I think she does this really crystalline colored, bright, beautiful covers. I think they're very interesting. The Queen of Jungle returns, featuring an all-star creative team and the most amazing roster of cover artists this side of the jungle. The thrilling adventure combines the classic elements of the legendary character along with a modern sensibility that will make it perfect debut for fans new and old. So I cannot wait. I think Sheena is a really fun story, as long as, you know, they keep having her like in the jungle and things like that, not have her too much like in the real world. So I am really looking forward to this. Like I said, I really like the covers, so great cover choice if anything. We also have Strange Academy Presents Death of Doctor Strange, #1. It's written by Scotty Young, drawn by Mike Del Mundo, and I'm really excited for this one because it's like our first real tie-in to the Death of Doctor Strange, and nothing screams more of like Death of Doctor Strange more than Strange Academy. I mean, he's leading a school of children right now, and like, what's gonna happen with them? I have a feeling that one of them might become Sorcerer Supreme because, I mean, he's been training them this time, so not too sure. Strange Academy is closed until the events surrounding Doctor Strange's death are resolved, so the students go back to their parents. I reckon Olive's mom happens to be the Enchantress, so you know this isn't going to go smoothly. We're going to learn that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and more than just one realm is in trouble. All this and more. So I'm really looking forward to this. I've really been enjoying Death of Doctor Strange. I think it's a really fun event, and I can't wait. We also have After Dark. It's a Aftershock one-shot. They mainly do this for their Halloween event, and it's written by Cullen Bunn and various others. It's Tales from the Crypt meets the Twilight Zone. 4 tales of horror, lost souls, and things that go bump in the night. A prestige format one-shot features top creative talent just in time for the most horrific month of the calendar year. After Dark is a collection of tales you'll want to read with the lights on. A desperate tale from a possible future, a chance encounter with a mythical black-eyed kid, a children's fable gone awry, and a gut-wrenching last meal at the local dinner. So, very, very cool. I'm looking forward to this every single time it comes out. I think it's just a really fun, nice one-shot. And yeah, I mean, like I said, Cullen Bunn's Aftershocks are pretty great, so you can't really go wrong there. Now time for our late printings. We only have a couple this week. We have Gun Honey #1 third printing. It's a metallic Adam Hughes cover. We have Mirka and Dolfo's Sweet Paprika #3 second print. Moon Knight #3 second print. And X-Men Trial of Magneto #2 second print. That's going to be all of it for me this week. I hope you check out all these comics and many more at your local comic book shop this Wednesday, November 3rd. Have a great day.